Hey, how's it going, guys? Oh my god, it is Friday night, and I look pretty tired, and I'm actually a little bit darker than usual because this week was crazy. We were out in the field for just a few days, and on top of that, we were outside pretty much all day, every single day for the last 5 days, just like out in the sun, doing practice drills and learning field craft and doing all that stuff. But on top of that, my military service members who are watching, you'll understand. I had it wasn't 20, it was almost close to 24 hours, but we had like a 16-hour duty because the thing is we can't do 24 because it is a work day. But however, we had duty as soon as we came back from the field, and we didn't even get sleep out in the field. So I came back and we had to stand post on duty, which was almost around 16 hours long. And so we didn't have any sleep. So the first time I actually slept properly for 8 hours was actually last night, but I still feel the fatigue and everything. So my service members will understand what I mean by duty. Oh my god. But anyways, I'm here for another Star Citizen video. So welcome back, guys. This is an Architect reviews the Mercury Star Runner by Morphologis. So shout out and credit goes to Morphologis. So I have really good news. I know a lot of you guys have been saying the audio capturing on some of my videos is pretty bad, and I do understand. I know I was working on it. I literally spent days researching and experimenting apps here and there trying to like fix it. But however, good news is I managed to find a solution. So the problem was not that application or anything like that. It was my recording software, which was my laptop in general. My laptop in general is not, I don't want to say advanced. How do I say, compatible or good enough to capture the audio recording. So basically, no matter what I did, it does not work. It can't change or it can't be any better. So what I did was I actually experimented a little bit, and it hit me. This is my gaming laptop I'm using right now, and I recorded and played all my Halo games on here. And then I remembered when I was reviewing my Halo videos that I recorded, it captured the audio perfectly. There was no issues or anything like that. So I was going, wait a minute. So why not just use my other laptop? I mean, the answer was so simple. It was right in front of me, but I was so focused on using that laptop because that laptop's a lot better when it comes to editing because of software and apps, and also the controls. It's a lot easier. So so here's my situation. I'm not situation. Here's my solution now. I will be recording videos and capturing all the audio and video on this laptop and transfer all the files onto my other laptop for editing and working. So the solution was so simple, but it just did not hit me until that moment because I was just so focused on using that laptop. So there shouldn't be any audio issues or anything like that from now on. If there is, then I'll look into it. But I've been doing a lot of tests on this laptop, just like capturing the videos, and everything is fine. It comes out perfect. So anyways, that's enough about me, about my update this week, and also my update on solving the audio issue. So without anything else, let's just jump right into the video, okay? That's a cool outfit. Oh, it's that outfit. Wait. Oh, okay. For a second, the white there, I thought it was the Punisher skull for some reason. I don't know. So far, the ship looks like it can fly pretty well. Sorry guys, I think the audio is a little loud, but anyways, so far the ship looks like the mobility is pretty good.
Each year of Star Citizen's development, there's at least one ship that claims the crown of most anticipated. And before you, carving the canyons of Daymar, is one such vessel. Welcome back, designers. My name's Morphologis, and in this episode of An Architect Reviews, we're taking a look at the hotly anticipated Mercury Star Runner. I'll be taking you guys through its exterior as well as interior, highlighting its functions, program, successes, and failures. And if you guys stay tuned until the end, you'll discover that it has a few tricks up its sleeve, a few secret compartments that any self-respecting
Dang, did you guys see how close it was to the surface and still managed to go? That's crazy. And also on top of that, 3 of you guys have been like constantly requesting this ship, so I decided to prioritize it a little bit more. But either way, I don't know yet until I start editing, but I hope the audio is good now. So, but however, one of the things that I noticed about Morphologis is the ships that he reviews and things like that, like the yacht so far I saw and things like that. Looks like he also plays the game, because I don't think this is something that he just got from like other players. It looks like he actually plays the game himself. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I'm getting. He plays it and does all, and then like clips it all together. But if he does that and also runs his own firm, then this guy's a really hard worker. So I mean, congrats to him. Oh damn.
smuggler would be proud of. But you'll also discover by the end that there are a few major design flaws that will probably need to get a bit of a rework. Oh, and if you wanted a chance to win this ship, you can head on over to my Twitch channel and give me a follow to find out how you can
Twitch
win it
too?
live
Dang,
on one of
dude,
my streaming days. And as always, if you think I did a good job by the end, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. So calm down and just fly casual if you see some hearse and security. I'm sure they're not going to find that hidden cargo hold.
Oh, so this is a smuggling ship. Or could be used for smuggling, I mean.
On Architect Reviews, I don't usually talk about the way a ship flies, but it seems that the Mercury Star Runner here is a bit of an exception, because after getting my hands on the flight sticks, I discovered that this thing is far more nimble than it may first appear. At 54 meters long, it certainly is not a small vessel. That puts it quite a bit larger than a Freelancer, but despite this, it flies not quite like a fighter, but close enough to it that it feels like you can rely on it to pull some good.
I don't know why, but from the back, I'm sorry I'm pausing so much, guys. But from the back, it kind of looks like the snow speeder from Hoth in Star Wars. But also, yeah, I do agree with him. I don't know. I know the top of it maybe looks sleek, but it kind of looks a little bulky or like clumped together. So that level of mobility would not be expected for me personally as well. So that kind of caught me off guard. But hey, if it works, it works.
Maneuvers in between buildings, say here on Area 18. And despite being billed as a data runner, it packs a bit of a punch with 6 size 3s on turrets. And even the pilot can get in on the fun, because one of those turrets is slaved to the cockpit. But the stock modules for this ship are a bit underwhelming, so I'd recommend upgrading before you take this thing into combat. Shifting our focus now away from the function into the design, though, a lot rests on the shoulders of the designers here with this particular ship, because it's the first from Crusaders, so it's going to establish a design language that hopefully later on can be reused for the backlog of other Crusader ships that have yet to make it into the game. Luckily, straight from the concept art, the Mercury Star Runner has been a fan favorite. Its asymmetrical design is particularly unique, and it's what's made it very reminiscent of a certain other ship in another universe. Unfortunately, though, it has seen a few changes from its original concept. One of the big ones being that the center-mounted engine is missing, which in my view is one of the contributing factors to why I feel that maybe the rear feels a bit imbalanced in terms of mass to thruster ratio. And that's certainly also not helped by the fact that it's gotten taller and maybe just a little bit fatter. It looks like the designers tried to offset it by adding some more thrusters on the wings, but this too seems to be a bit too small for the exhaust port that they've designed around it. In the grand scheme of things, though, this issue really isn't that big of a problem, because at least in my opinion, the overall design of the ship is excellent and extremely well executed. I really like the white on black color scheme with red accents. It visually helps slim down its elevation. And I also really love how they establish a language of layering and contrast between very smooth, complex form plates and a much more angular interior inner working. This layering strategy of design can be best seen here on the rear near the engines, where the plates reveal that there's a much more complex engine component beneath. And you'll find that they're very consistent with this design language, this design strategy when we step into the interior and examine its interior surface plating.
All right, time to look
Many
inside.
of you guys are chomping at the bit to get to the interior of this ship. How does it fare? Well, as you'll discover, there are some glaring design issues with its overall design, and we'll go over those momentarily. But the first thing I discovered on approach was just how tiny the access panel was. You could barely read open from afar, and unless you know what to look for, it's just a bit hard to find.
I thought that was just a sticker or something. Okay, so I guess that's one design flaw so far, but I mean, besides that, I mean, the ship looks pretty cool in my opinion. But again, guys, for those of you who did not, maybe you guys missed it in the last video. Again, I'm not a architect expert or a design expert and things like that. I just give my honest opinions and just think what I and just say what I think. But if I say something wrong, or maybe you guys want to correct me, feel free. But I do apologize if I do say anything incorrect. But like I said, I am not an expert. I'm just someone who's just watching this and just taking in the designs and work of people that put in so much time and work into like creating these ships.
I think this could be best resolved by maybe highlighting it with red around it, and then perhaps also making the UI just a bit bigger.
Oh, so making it stand out.
Well
Okay.
formed though. It's straight, and that makes loading easy for vehicles. Initial impressions of the cargo bay
Hey, the Crusader
are pretty
logo.
good. It's spacious, plenty of room for fitting multiple vehicles in here, maybe 3 ROCs for doing a mining mission, and that's good news. The lighting strategy is also really nice, and the color for those lights is also very comfortable. I've always recommended going with a warmer color for lighting for interior spaces, and it looks like they've gone that direction for the Crusader design language. Just off the cargo bay, you'll find yourself though at the engineering door. Here you see it's very clearly labeled, which I think is great. It helps with wayfinding, and the panel is directly next to it, so there's no problems finding that either. We can argue here whether or not
Okay,
having
so easy to
engineering right in the
navigate
cargo
so
bay
far.
is a good idea, but at least it's got its own separate door as opposed to other ships
Sensors
like
on.
the Hammerhead. Once again though, the UI could use a little bit of help. Operating the button and stepping through the very unique door, we find ourselves in a very well-lit engineering space. And when I say well-lit, I don't mean that it's very bright in this space. In fact, I'm speaking about just how dramatic the lighting is, and I really like that it's consistent throughout the entire ship. Yes, it's a bit dark, but like I said, adds a bit of drama to the space that I think fits well with the science fiction universe. I also very much like how they've created enclosures for each and every item, except for, strangely enough, the shield generators, which are just exposed on the wall. Perhaps they ran out of room? I'm not sure. I also really like how they're using the ribs or the structure to embed lights for a lot of the spaces here. You'll find this is consistent throughout the ship, but you'll also notice that there's something that I pointed out on the exterior happening now on the interior space. They're exposing a lot of the internals of the ship to contrast with the very smooth panels, like this wire coming down from outside of the mechanical space. Now this in the real world would probably be a bit of design oversight. You probably would want to cover this up, but for a video game it looks really nice and adds maybe a bit of believability to the space. They've also
Okay, so what I'm getting in so far is the lighting is really good. It's consistent, and you can see things here and there, even if the interior is pretty dark. But the one design flaw he keeps on pointing out is most of the interior or parts of the ship is exposed. For example, like you said, the generators and the wires and everything like that. So if it could be easily broken, or maybe something can go wrong. But I say another advantage is, since it's there's no panels covering it up, and something goes wrong, it's exposed, so it's easy to access. But then again, between easily accessing those kind of parts and having it protected, I'd rather have it protected, like having panels over it and all that. So that is one thing I rather prefer, instead of having it just exposed like that.
Also got the possibility of turning lights on and off in individual spaces for the first time in a ship. Supposedly, this is going to become a standard function for all ships in Star Citizen when they get around to updating it. The button panels have also seen an introduction of an additional suite of very cool features, such as the ability to lock the doors as well as turn sensors on and off for them, so you can lock them in an open or closed position by toggling that sensor button. This is going to come into play in the future when you have the ability to lock people
the door
out
closed
of
on
certain
him.
spaces if they don't have security access. So say you have a first officer and captain designated on your ship. CIG's intention is to eventually make it so that you can limit who can access very sensitive rooms, say like a server room that has sensitive data, or maybe an intel room on a Javelin where you don't want just a regular enlisted crewman just walking in. Moving forward in the ship, we'll have to travel up this small elevator at the corner of the cargo space to get to the rest of the ship. This, unfortunately, has a bit of a design issue in that there is nothing blocking you from walking underneath the elevator should it be in its up position, meaning that people in the future may accidentally be crushed by this thing if they don't know that it's not ready. So they should probably add some doors here just for safety reasons.
Okay, so yeah,
Stepping out of the cargo bay, we find
hazard.
ourselves though in the server room. Now, this is one of the important features of the ship as it's billed as a data runner, meaning it's supposed to transport data in the future, which is going to be a valuable commodity that you can trade and transport from place to place. And here we arrive at our first issue. Now, I don't claim to be a specialist in servers, but what I understand from them is that they are generally not directly accessible by normal people, and so anybody you have accessing your ship will be walking directly past what presumably contains very sensitive information. This not only presents a security risk, but also just a hazard. If you accidentally bump...
Yeah, security risk was actually the two words that was coming up into my head. And also, yeah, I see all the cables like exposed, but then again, I have seen those kind of like designs, like cables exposed in certain workplaces here and there. But then again, for those kind of things, it's always behind like at least another door, like a locked door where only authorized personnel can access and things like that. So I say the one biggest thing is they should have like another door. I mean, like, you know, bulletproof glass or another metal door, anything like that, blocking it so that way only authorized personnel can access them instead of just anyone that's on the ship. So I do agree that it is a big security risk.
Bump one of these wires, who knows what will happen. Well, this is a video game, though, and I understand that that's not really possible,
Never
but
mind.
It does beg the question why they didn't put this in an entirely separate space, such as in the adjacent scanner room instead, and just have the scanner at the end of the hallway. Stepping into the scanning room, though, this is going to be an important space in the future when data running becomes an actual viable profession. This is where you're going to be intercepting, sending, or receiving information. We don't know yet what that's going to look like, so can't really say how well it's designed in terms of that, but I can say that it's exquisitely detailed and reminds me a little bit of like a seat from Star Wars, maybe? Oh, I just said it. Oops. Don't kill me, Disney. Just across from the scanners and servers, though, we'll find ourselves at the turret access. This is where you're going to be defending your ship against would-be pirates or maybe enemy factions. One of the things I appreciate about this design, though, is that instead of taking the remote turret approach as many other ships in SC have taken, this takes a much more direct approach by allowing you to physically access the turret in a much more visceral way. Because when you think about it, it doesn't make a lot of sense to expose your very squishy human body to the vacuum of space and possible railgun fire. But there could be an argument made for the fact that you have a lot more situational awareness in a turret than you do in a remote turret because you can actually look around as opposed to being focused on a single direction when you're looking at a screen.
Man, they really lit him up.
You can also make a comparison to rowing your own gears with our cars. I mean, there's something to operating a 6-speed today. People still like doing it, not because it's convenient, but because it's fun. And ultimately, this is a video game. It needs to be fun. Moving now more forward, though, towards the bridge, we find ourselves in another hallway separated by a bulkhead. Here we'll find access straight forward to the actual bridge, but we'll also find access to the recreation area as well as living quarters. For workflow, this makes a lot of sense. It's good to have easy access to every part of the ship by having the living quarters
logo
in the
is just
center.
everywhere.
But one of the things that really bothers me here is that there's an exposed to the
I mean,
ship.
look at that, guys. You can see the logo like right up here. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see my cursor because the thing is, one thing that was on my old computer is it doesn't capture the cursor unless I change it to, but then again, I just didn't want to like mess up any settings. But if you guys can see my cursor, it's on the door right here, and it's on the panels on the left and right here already. Dang. They really want to make sure that you know it's Crusaders.
by having the living quarters in the center. But one of the things that really bothers me here is that there's an exposed gun rack directly in a major
Oh my
corridor.
God.
That means that any passengers on your ship could potentially grab a loaded weapon and go to town if it's somebody that maybe wants to turncoat on you.
Yeah, that is a big no. Those weapons must always be behind lock and key, and yeah, coming from someone who's in the military, and the fact that when it comes to weapon safety and ammunition and things like that, I highly agree. That is a big no, and I mean that has to be like behind maybe a lock cage or maybe in a separate room for other people, but it can't be just like out there in the open. So that no.
As a gun owner myself, it's always bothered me that this is the case for a lot of ships. I mean, except for Drake ships, they're dangerous and everybody knows that. But for ships like this, I would hope that they'd have a cover for them like what they've done on the 890 Jump. Stepping into the habitation area though, in terms of design, I find this to be one of the most successful habitation areas of any ship in the game.
Oh, really?
It's very comfortably sized. It's got ample storage not only in the walls, but in, well, placed shelves, and they've also got sensibly designed working areas for people who are maybe off duty and want to catch up on their
I like the design of it.
communications perhaps from back home. Data running like hauling is probably going to be a more long-term effort, so it makes sense to have something like that. The bunks themselves are not stacked on top of each other, so it's not really concerned here about saving space, but that makes the spaces themselves very, very comfortable.
Got some dumbbells
Each of the
on the
three crew
ground,
members, including the
4-pound
captain,
dumbbells.
have their own little personal space, and that's good on a civilian vessel for people who maybe not trained or used to.
Okay, so I see 3 bunks and looks like 3 closets there on the right. So that means this is only a house for 3 people.
Working in small spaces with the same people for extended periods of time. The party trick of the room, though, probably is the head. You've got 2 of them facing one another, and they're hidden behind these really cool half-circle doors. The circular corridor is something that I really like,
Okay,
and
2
obviously
bathrooms.
it's another design cue that's, let's say, inspired by a really famous Falcon. But every crew needs a bit of R&R, and so recreation is also a feature of the program of the Mercury Star
Hey, look at
Runner.
that sofa.
This is one of the first ships to introduce an actual playable game, by the way.
Is that a
chest
chessboard?
that you see in the middle?
Yeah.
It actually works. When I was making this video the other day with the help of Armco community member Jimmy, we actually played around while we were in Quantum getting from place to place. It was actually a pretty nice way to kill time. Brings me back to my high school chess team days when I pretty much lost every single game I played. Long haul users will also...
I was in a chess club back in elementary school around maybe 3rd or 4th grade because I really like chess here and there. And I mean, I wasn't like really good, but I mean, I did have some wins, but I had a lot of losses too because there was that one kid who was literally a master. He knew every single strategy and everything, and I guess he was just a chess prodigy. I don't know what he's doing right now, but yeah, he was a prodigy. And I haven't played chess against anyone in quite a while, but it would be pretty fun to do again.
be relieved to know that the Mercury Star Runner also has its own galley, which means that you'll be able to replenish your hydration and energy whilst on the go. Personally, I really
dope.
like the integration of all of the amenities into the design language, how they again added the lights into the struts. Everything again feels like it's very well put together and part of the same idea. And I also like how they're adding the Crusader logo into really funny places. At some point, somebody needs to count up how many Crusader logos are in this ship. I bet it's a lot.
Okay, so I was not the only one. Like I said, when I paused it earlier, there was one on the door. There's just 2 more on the left and right, and that was a really small space. So I'm going, man, these guys really want to make sure that it is manufactured and created by Crusader. And he agrees with me. There's literally a logo every like 5 feet.
Let me know if you guys know in the comment section. But with that, we have just one last main place to visit on this ship before we go into the secrets that it has in store. And that's the bridge, which can be found down a very curiously long but empty hallway. Not sure why they decided to put nothing in there. There are definitely some stuff they could have added, but that's just the way it is, I guess. Now, to be honest, I really like this space quite a lot, and the very convoluted way that the chairs come up on rails to get to the consoles is actually pretty neat. I believe that was in the concept art for the ship, so
That's pretty cool.
certainly delivered on that. Visibility through the canopy also makes the experience a pleasure. There are no struts blocking your view, unlike other competitors. Looking at you, Connie. But one of the things that kind of disappointed me about the bridge was the fact that instead of having maybe a jump seat or an engineering station, they instead had another gun rack. I would have loved to see a place for friends to sit who are not piloting the ship.
Oh, so they had a place for weapons instead of maybe like a passenger seat or things like that. Oh, okay, I see.
But there's more to this ship than what may first appear, because beneath the deck plating hides a bit of a secret. Turning to the cargo bay, you'll find that there's a secret hidden button that opens a wall panel to a whole little cargo area. This, of course, is the shielded cargo area for, you guessed it, smuggling. It wouldn't be much of an aspiring Falcon of the Millennium without it, would it?
Well,
As smuggling is currently a thing
big...
in Star Citizen, I imagine quite a few people are going to be using this for shipping not so legal stuff from place to place. But there's another secret, and that's pretty much
That's a
every
big
single
space for
that
cargo.
we visited in this ship is accessible through a secret vent system beneath the floors. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. This is pretty much a ship to play Among Us on at this point. But before you go and think that they copied that game, this was actually developed in an idea quite a bit before Among Us became popular this year. But it's still kind of a fun coincidence that this is a thing. I can already tell this is going to be a lot of fun for people to take their friends on who don't know about this ship, because they're going to get a hell of a scare. Oh, and you remember the recreation area? Yeah, there's a secret passage there too, but you'll never guess where it is. It's beneath the chess table. Clearly the devs had maybe a little bit too much fun with the Star Runner. But while
Hey, at least they had
Star
fun.
Runner could score high marks for its creativity, it absolutely fails when it comes to safety. You may have noticed that there are no escape pods. And worse, there's only one exit. That's the rear ramp. If for any reason the cargo bay becomes uninhabitable, say through a extreme fire from volatile cargo, or maybe the cargo ramp just breaks, the crew has no way to get off the ship. But in architectural terms, this wouldn't have even gotten past the inspection stage.
So this ship basically is one big safety hazard. No emergency exits, no secondary exits, and no quick exits. Just one way in or out. I mean, maybe if you can bust open the cockpit windows, but besides that, seems that this is that's like the one common thing I keep on seeing over and over again when he's like doing the ship is like, you know, weapons out in the open, exposed parts of the ship and things like that. So looks like they didn't really focus on safety in this one, or maybe they did on purpose. I don't know. But so far, I just see a consistency of a singular problem.
Fact, the inspector would have probably dressed me down and started to question whether or not I was qualified to produce any drawings whatsoever, having completely ignored fire code. Honestly though, this is easily fixed. Even if there isn't the possibility of adding escape pods, just add some escape hatches, maybe in the crawl spaces underneath the floors, like a secret exit, or maybe an exit near the bridge. I think this would solve the egress issue, but honestly, it really is a big concern if in the future there is such a thing as Death of a Spaceman as Chris Roberts has outlined. I can't be sure without seeing an interior and exterior model overlaid, but it does seem like there could be still some poche space or some dead space they could use to accomplish this. But again, this will be up to the CIG developers to evaluate. But aside from these glaring design issues that I've outlined at the latter part of this video, the Mercury Star Runner is a wonderful success for the design language of the new Crusader series, and I think it's quite the accomplishment by CIG. But of course, design is subjective, and I always invite you as a viewer to disagree with me. I by no means am an authority on design, and I don't try to pretend
Neither am I.
In fact, one of the hallmarks I think of a good designer is to be humble and understand that you might not always have the best solution. That even the most junior of designers, no matter how long you've worked in a firm or worked in the field, can have the solution that you just didn't see because you were focusing too much on one aspect of the design. All I'm trying to accomplish with this video is to just bring a different perspective, and plus I really actually like making them. I enjoy design, and if I didn't, I wouldn't spend the enormous amount of time it takes me to actually put these together. But like I said, what do you guys think? Did you like the Mercury Star Runner? Did you agree with what I pointed out, or did you see some stuff that I didn't see? I certainly didn't have enough time to go through every single detail of this ship. There were things that I had to leave out, sadly, because it's already nearly 20 minutes long. And don't forget, guys, if you are looking to win one of these for yourself, including a game package, you can follow me over on Twitch to find out how you can win one of these yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Morphologis. I hope to see you next time.
Okay, so that was a really interesting ship, and I really did enjoy it. So for this ship itself, from what I'm hearing, and like with all the secret compartments and things like that, this would be a smuggler's favorite ship. Because, I mean, did you see the size of that cargo space for that secret compartment? Man, that's crazy. And on top of that, what I took away from this video with the Mercury is Crusader loves their logo. It's literally everywhere, all over the ship, especially in the interior, 5 feet away from everywhere. But safety is, I say, the biggest flaw and hazard it has on the ship. Exposed, like I said, exposed parts of the interior, weapons out in the open, and the fact that there's no secondary exit. So like you said, if the cargo bay was uninhabitable or destroyed, or you can't get out, then you're pretty much screwed. That's it. But overall, the maneuverability, the mobility of the ship is really cool, and I really like designs and the areas of it. So this is a pretty cool ship in my opinion. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully the audio did fix itself, because like I said, I wouldn't know if it worked or not until I start editing this video. But if it did, I hope you guys. I do thank every single one of you for being patient and understanding with me with my audio issue, because like I said, I'm not a tech genius, I'm not an expert in things like that. I'm just someone who's still learning and trying to improve my videos. So that's why I went from one computer to another, and it literally took me days and countless hours and sleepless, I mean, you guys can see me how tired I am, and sleepless hours or nights, whatever you want to call it, to figure out ways to improve my videos, so that way I can get better quality content for you guys. So I hope you guys do understand that, and if you guys do, I thank each and every one of you. But anyways, that's all I got for today. So that was another video by Morphologis. So again, credits and shout out goes to him for the video, and he did an amazing job. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that notification bell so you know when I drop another video, and shout out to all my members, subscribers, viewers. You guys are amazing. You guys are the reason why this channel keeps on growing, and why I'm still doing what I'm doing, even though I'm a little bit tired and fatigued. Does not matter. I enjoy this, and I thank each and every one of you. So without anything else, I'll see you guys next time.